Go live here. Shh. Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to Sports for Supper tonight. We haven't been on in a couple of weeks as we're getting ready for playoffs coming up here. We're live from Sammy's. We're going to have football on with you here in a little while, and then I know we're going to have Coach Russell from the girls basketball team on as they started their season, and they've started pretty well. I'm Jared Lucky along with Maury Stein. Garrison Garza is got a headset tonight. He's back, and Dwayne's around here, and so is Jeff Stivers. So we'll be filtering on and off here tonight, the bunch of us. I know we're going to have football on here in a minute. Medina Valley ended up 4th place in the playoffs, Maury, and they were going to be taking on Mission Pioneer is where we're going to be headed Friday night, and they finished first in their district. I believe they finished the season 5-0 because that's all the games they could play. They were playing a lot of games late to try to get enough in so that they could play their district. Ended up first. I think they went pretty deep in the playoffs last year to the quarterfinals or something to that nature. Not sure exactly what they have back, but they're a pretty good team who can score a lot of points.
Well, basically what we've all heard, and it's been the same. They have a real good quarterback that makes things happen quite a bit, and that's something that our defense, as we talked all year, has kept us in a lot of ball games. But the defense really is going to have to step up Friday night because they've averaged quite a few points per game. So. Garrison, you were on the sidelines last year. What do you think the defense needs to do to stop Mission Cherryland?
Well, I'm not too familiar with the Cherryland team, but I know the defense is something we always take pride in Medina Valley. I think the main thing is we just need to be consistent. We need to, not try and save the day, be a hero. We just need to play football and do their jobs, and now keep the offense in the game. Allow us to. I think we'll be a good game. Medina Valley always been a good game on these playoffs. They've been in our history, so I think we'll be fine.
And we're going to have Coach Crisp on here in a little while. He's on his way here right now, and I'm looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 players sitting here in front of me. He sent.
I recognize. He
sent half of this.
We've had here
one
before.
side of the ball here. So, all right, guys. Yeah, we'll start down here on the end and go ahead and just start name all that kind of stuff. Tell us who you are.
My name's Troy Tomaselli. I'm number 84, and I'm wide receiver.
And Troy, you're a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And we've seen you catch some passes this year. You've gotten involved in the running game on some jet sweeps. We've seen you more involved the last few weeks. Tell us a little bit about that and kind of what y'all are focusing on going into this playoff game.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I just love getting the ball. I mean, I think the way they give me the ball, I think we get good yardage. I mean, I just really like getting the ball. And, I mean, I think we're ready for this game Friday. I mean, I think their team doesn't understand much formations, and I think we're just really going to get them with that. That's we're kind of getting a game plan around that going in there.
Has the extra week seemed like
yes, sir.
week helped y'all? Y'all
Yes, sir.
Getting healthy
No,
also?
it's helped us. We've included more formations and more plays. Yes, sir.
So what defense they basically run? Do they run a defense that you can kind of say a team that y'all have played this year has run before?
Yes. Oh, yes, sir. They run a defense similar to Alamo Heights. Alamo Heights. They run 3-3. Yeah, they run a 3-3.
Okay.
Yes,
So have y'all seen some film on them? Have y'all got to watch any film on
yes,
them?
sir. We watched film against Pioneer versus Veterans Memorial. We watched that film, and then we watched this Friday film. We watched the live stream.
What? So they played Veterans. It's not the same Veterans Memorial that y'all played, it, or was it?
No, they played Veterans Memorial. It was their first game.
Oh,
season.
okay.
Yes, sir.
What was how does that end up? Yeah,
I think it was.
They won.
Yeah, Pioneer won 45-38.
Okay, and go ahead, Mario.
It's basically going to come down to you guys on the offensive side of the board, the way it sounds like, because they can put up quite a few points, and they're averaging, I think, 40-something points a game.
Yeah.
So
yes, sir.
It's time to tighten up the chin straps and get ready to go, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tomaselli, I got a question. You're a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
I know it's been a long time since there's been a sophomore in that high of a skill position, and you're going to the playoffs. How are you feeling right now?
I don't know. I'm feeling confident, really confident. I think the coaches have installed a great game plan this week, and I'm just ready to go and get on the field.
Boy, that's good.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll move on. We're going to go through y'all quickly because there's six of you guys here. So I know you've been here before also,
Yes.
right? And go ahead and tell us your name again and your
My
position.
name's Caleb Dunn. I'm the center.
And
My number's 51.
all right, and what I know the last time you were here, I think it was against Tivy, and y'all were talking about how they lined up with a 4-man front. Y'all hadn't seen that yet this year. You're going to be back to a 3-man front this week. You're going to have someone lined up over you. Are you more comfortable going back into that?
We've seen it all year, so I am more comfortable with a 3-man front, having a nose on me because majority of our games, except like 2 of them, we've gone against a 3-man front. So I'm more confident going against a 3-man than I am a 4.
And what have you seen on the defensive side of the ball that y'all need to kind of thwart? What's some things that they do well on defense?
They hold their ground. They're big. They're real big, but they're not very fast. They don't go upfield too much. They kind of just extend and they sit heel line. Very technical D line.
So you'll have a nose guard over you. Who is going to be on what side of you? I know a couple of you guys were here before. You have the whole left side here tonight again?
Yes, sir. The left side too.
So you got confidence in your
Yes, sir. I do. I know they'll have my back.
what is your favorite play to run if it's goal line? We need a touchdown, 4th and 1. What play would you want called where you can just blast the nose guard?
Probably lead right, so I can double team with him.
So who would that mean getting the ball? Is that a running play for
probably
Nick,
be-
or is that?
Yes, sir. It'd be Nick. Q lead right.
Go ahead, Garrison. You got any questions? No? You're enthusiastic tonight. Come on.
I know we have a young left side, right? Just for me, I know we had a lot of veteran linemen last year. I'm very proud of how they done. The few games I've watched, they've really, stepped up to the plate and they've done really good.
Yeah,
I'd be proud to be a.
absolutely. And there's a lot of good things to come. You have 2 more years after this, and there's a lot of experience to be gained. Y'all are getting to play a lot of games at a young age, which you don't get to see a whole lot. So, yeah, there's a lot of things to look forward to in the coming years also with the offensive line.
Play any other sports or
I'm gonna do powerlifting. this year.
powerlifting? Good.
All right, and we'll move on. And you have not been here before, correct?
No, sir.
All right,
No,
so
sir.
tell us your name, number, your grade.
Asael Moreno. I'm number 19, and I'm a sophomore.
And you're a quarterback?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Quarterback.
Yep. And you're Coach Mo's son, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all
That's my
right.
son, yes, sir.
And you're a sophomore, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you played, I know we saw you on the JV earlier this year,
Yes, sir,
right?
we did.
You were
Yes, sir.
starting a lot of those games.
Every game, yes, sir.
So you've been called up here. I know you came up about the Kerrville game or right before that.
It was the Heights game,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
That was the week I went in.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, everyone got hurt in that game, and so tell us a little bit about what it was like getting called up and kind of what kind of role you have to fill into now.
It was a crazy story, Like, it was my birthday, and I thought they were, like, messing with me, like, oh, like, you're getting moved up, like, as a joke. And then Coach Chris came up and, like, yeah, you're moving up. Come on, let's go. And we had a little meeting, and we talked and stuff, and just, like, stepping up and helping everybody, like, line up. That's my role. I know my role. And looking forward for a win every week is what I like to see. That's my main goal, pretty much.
So let me ask you this: your dad's the defensive coach,
Yes, sir.
And you're on offense. How does that?
We're
that
always
work out?
butting heads at the house all the time. We're always talking trash to each other, too.
He ain't trying to get you to change to the other side of football?
No, sir.
Would you if he asked you?
I don't know. I like playing quarterback. That's my position.
So how was it? What was it like going in there the first time?
It was intense. It was pretty crazy. I wasn't ready for it. And then I had these guys out here calming me down and having me settle up and be ready for it going in.
Do you remember any of it? 'Cause
I remember all of
usually
it.
things like that are kind of a
Yeah.
blur, And
I remember everything play by play.
that's nice.
So your dad didn't let the cat out of the bag? He let Coach Chris tell you you're moving up?
Yes, sir.
I like that.
Yep. Well, no, go ahead.
So is there a special package for you
No, sir.
coming up, or are you just the next man up?
I'm
if
just the next
something
man up.
happened to Nick?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again, later down the line for sure.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
2 more years. All right. The next man in.
I'm Rafe Clendenin, and I'm a sophomore, and I'm number 80.
And you've been here before too, right? You're,
Yes,
you're
sir.
tight end, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. And we've seen you be involved in the passing game a lot, especially the last few games, they've been incorporating a little more of that, kind of getting the ball out of Rash's hands quicker. Tell us a little bit how that comes into play with you guys.
Yeah, the quick game comes in real handy when the safeties and corners play off into deep fourths, into cover four. When they play off the ball, it's a lot easier to get, not everything's about the deep ball, the quick game, and the short yards. If you just get 5-6 yards a pop, run the clock down, it's a lot easier to keep control of the game and just keep control of the scoreboard.
Yeah, and, we noticed, especially in that second half against Floresville, y'all came out and were, swinging the ball out a little quicker. Rash was under a lot of pressure. They're getting the ball out of his hands, started moving a little better. When that starts happening, do y'all feel that kind of momentum shift? And you're like, hey, we move the ball against these guys. How does that kind of play in mentally?
Yeah, in the huddle, everybody's just, I guess your adrenaline sort of gets boosted, and everybody on the sidelines just really enthusiastic, and everybody feels it. It's like something that goes around, and everybody feels it.
Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about the team tomorrow. You're a tight end, so you do some run blocking, you run passing routes. What are you going to see from them defensively at your position?
Yeah, so like what Troy said, they're pretty big people. They definitely got size on their team, but they're also really, really slow, and I feel like I'm not as big, but I'm definitely faster than they are, so I can get my body between them and whoever's running the ball, and all I got to do is block them for a few seconds.
Just enough to get your guy through.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
With the way that they can score on offense, if we putting in a little different package, maybe throw the ball around a little bit more, or
There's a couple.
without going into too great a detail.
Yeah,
just-
don't let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, there's probably just couple of them that they switch me and another receiver to get like a one-on-one. If there's just like some sort of crazy mismatch, kid's like really short, and just throw it up to me. But
Let him go up and get it.
yeah, other than that,
Which one of y'all called a shot against Kerrville? One of y'all set 40 yards and a touchdown,
Yeah, and
but you were there.
I was there.
I mean, you had the first opportunity and just bounced off your hands, and because we were trying to decide that one of them, either Troy or Rafe, called their shot 40 yards and a touchdown, but we couldn't remember which one of y'all.
We both did. He called 60 yards and a touchdown. I called 40 yards and a touchdown.
yeah.
And you both had the opportunities.
yeah, I think
Yeah, it was 40 yards.
It was 40 yards right on the nose.
40
Yep.
yards.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Well, Rafe, thanks, and good luck tomorrow night, and we'll move on. We got
It's
another
the
one.
gauntlet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm James Fox, number 60. I'm a sophomore, left guard.
All right, and tell us a little bit about. So we've heard their defensive line's pretty big. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, they got size on them, but I feel like we are way quicker off the ball than they are.
And have y'all been kind of working on some of that, with their size, trying to combat that with the quickness and trying to, work on those first steps and things like that over the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, we've been working on our first step, making sure we take it correctly and hard so we can just punch them in the mouth.
Nice.
How far do y'all think y'all have came, y'all sophomores, from the start of the season? Has it gotten easier or has it gotten harder?
I feel like some games they've gone easier, and then some games that we have a challenge.
So what?
We've gone better over the season, like way better as a team.
So you protect the blind side. Who is? How big is the young man that's going to be across from you?
Oh,
Is he outweigh you? Is he bigger than you are?
he's taller, but I weigh more. He's like 6'2". Yeah,
6'3",
6'3".
Oh yeah.
265, 6'3", 265.
So, but y'all think y'all are quicker, can explode off the ball? Do they rush a lot? Do they try to get to the quarterback quick, or do they let kind of things settle down and just play back?
I think they will try to like stay on the line, and then like try to read, but we could probably use that to advantage and just keep on pushing them out. But they don't really go for the quarterback, not the line.
So is this one of those games where y'all think y'all can get to the second level, get to the linebackers, and free up the running game a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it's gonna take.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll have one more on here, and we'll just keep moving down the line. We went from guard to tackle, right?
Yes, sir. Cameron Beal, number 62, sophomore.
All right, and you got the defensive end. Is their ends? Do they come up the field and try to get to that quarterback, or do they kind of move outside a little more? What's kind of their tendencies?
Yeah, like what Fox says, they just stay more on the line of our our heels and stuff, just to read it, and then I think they later after they see it's going to be a pass, I think they'll start rushing. So we just have to just push them out or keep them there. Don't let them get inside, of course.
Are they in a 3-point stand, 4-point stance, or do they stand up? What do they basically run?
I think they're all 3-point stands. I think maybe their right side D end might stay up, but because he's like shorter and stuff and a little lighter, but the rest of them just stay down in 3-point stance.
Which side of the line has the biggest challenge?
Oh, that's our side.
Y'all's side?
265, yes, sir.
That's nice to know, right?
Yeah. Up to the challenge, though, right?
Yes, sir, for sure.
So, Pancakes, how many blocks? You gonna call your shot tonight?
Oh, I mean, maybe I think power left. I might be able to get that backer and get him down on the ground for a pancake, but I don't know about that big guy. I think I have to keep him just stood up.
Is big on the tiny linebacker?
Yeah.
As long as you block him,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't matter how you got it
You're
done.
absolutely right.
Yep.
Gary?
I got nothing. I don't know too much.
Well, guys, first of all, congratulations on a season getting in the playoffs, and second of all, hopefully we're talking to some of y'all again next week
Yes, sir.
After a victory. And good luck Friday night.
And remember, everybody starts off 0-0 when the playoffs come. It doesn't matter what happened before.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you're first place or fourth. Seen a lot of things happen.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And let's make it happen, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thanks, guys, and good luck. And we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back with Coach Crisp. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
Truck Month is going on now at North Park Chevrolet. Get the lowest posted prices of the year, plus 0.9% APR financing for 72 months, and an additional $1,000 for accessories on every new Chevrolet truck, like a 2020 Colorado Crew Cab, posted at $24,999, or the all-new Silverado, posted at $29,999. Experience Chevrolet, the North Parkway, 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville, or at npchevy.com.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
All right, welcome back here to Sports for Supper. We just had 6 of the sophomores on here, and we're going to move on to Coach Crisp. And Coach, congratulations on getting in the playoffs this year.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us tonight. And so tell us a little bit about the team that we're going to be playing on Friday night.
Okay, we're playing Mission Sharyland Pioneer. They finished first in their district. They probably average about 50 points a game. They got a quarterback. I believe he's committed to UTSA. Last name Marburger. 6'3", 205 kid. Throws really, really well and runs like a deer.
Senior?
He's a senior this year, yeah. Our luck. A lot like the guy we played last year, just a little taller and bigger and faster. And so, but, he's got a good receiving core, great big offensive line, and then they've got a defense to sort of complement the offense. A good, big defensive line with a core of linebackers that are fairly active and a secondary that's good as well. So, I mean, it's playoff football. It's what you get.
So tell us a little bit about that district. Was way behind this year. I think they had a lot of COVID problems early. Were they playing 2 games a week to make up? We had heard that at one point, but I don't know if that was true or not.
We had the option of playing a game every 5 days. I think at the end they had to go to something similar to that. I don't know if it was that that fast, but they only have 5 games. I want to say 5 games on the record right now. And so they kind of started late, and then they had to they zoned their district, which have 9 teams, and then they just finished their playoff game last Friday.
Oh, that's right. They do have 9 teams in that district. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way the realignment went, it just they grouped them all together, and that's what they got.
Yeah.
Did any of them have to switch classifications to stay in that district? Like one be moved from small and play up, or were they all in Division One?
Not that I'm aware of. They're all Division Two with us, and so and nobody opted up, and so I think that's how that fell together that way. And I know that I think the previous year they had some of them schools that were near Corpus and those areas that were 5A D2 that dropped down to 4A, and I think that's how that happened. It kind of just pushed everything to the edges. So.
And so you've had a week now off, 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've kind of implemented in the off week. Don't give away what you're planning, but what have you guys
been? No master plan.
I'll tell you what we did. Things you focused on over the last 2 weeks.
The same thing we did the previous bye week is we went back and we started teaching fundamentals again. I mean, I don't think there's anything you can teach in football that is more important than the fundamentals. I mean, first step and focusing on the very little things that make you successful. I mean, football is blocking and tackling and executing assignments, and if you do those things and you do your job, you're going to be fine. And so when we had the bye week and we weren't sure whether we were playing Mercedes, we're going to play Mission, and so there's no use in game planning and scheming. We just went back and said, let's fix us. And we had plenty to fix. After the Floresville game, there was a lot to fix. So we went back and said, all right, what are our deficiencies, and let's address those and try to get those things right. And that's what we did. So we spent a week doing that, and then we come back after a weekend of watching film and game planning. We had an idea who we were going to play, but now we come back and we say, we put a game plan together, and this is how we're going to attack them, and this is what we're going to do, and it's just building off of what we put together last week. So,
was there one team between the two that you would have rather played, or it really doesn't matter? I mean, what I'm saying is one more harder to prepare for, it runs a little bit more schemes, or?
We went down and scouted last Friday, me and a couple of the coaches. We saw Mercedes as they played Pioneer for the championship, and I mean, Mercedes is a dangerous team. I mean, they do a lot of things that they have guys that can get things done as well. I thought we might have matched up a little better against Mercedes, just because they don't have a 6'3", 205 D1 commit, quarterback, but they were equally as dangerous. And so one way or the other, those are things we can't control, and so I don't really concern myself too much with them. And so we just say, this is who we got. Let's get ready for them, and let's go to work.
Well, and your defense has been what's kept you in most of your football games this year,
right.
And have, Medina Valley's got a pretty good defense. Have they seen a defense like what Medina Valley has this year, or have they seen weaker defenses? I
don't think they've seen what they're going to see on Friday, and that's my big sort of the mustard seed of hope there. Not that it's only a mustard seed, but we're going to show them something they ain't seen.
Yeah.
And I think offensively on this, it goes both ways. Everyone in the Valley seems to play. Everyone in their district, anyway, that we've seen on film, they play very, very similar football, with the exception of maybe one team. And I think we're going to show them something different offensively that may give them some challenges, and then defensively they'll struggle, to adapt as well. And so it depends on how long they can how long it takes for them to adapt to what we're doing. Once that happens, who knows? It's anyone's game right now.
Well, and that's why I asked you at the beginning to tell us about that team because, being that they're from down in the Valley, this is the first time I'm going to see a Valley team play, I think. And, we don't know much about that district. So what it sounds like you're saying, are they spread it out and throw the ball, kind of get it quick and
finesse?
They're not a power team at all.
No, they're not going to rely on the run game to get they want to score as many points as fast as they can. And that seems to be something that's sort of a cultural deal down there. And they like just scoring points. And they do a great job of it. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from them. I mean, my gosh, I've never seen somebody score. I went down there, we showed up, and there was 4 minutes left in the first quarter, and they scored. I saw 4 touchdowns in 4 minutes. So between the two teams, it's a high octane. It's like watching Texas Tech. It's something. Well, in their heyday, I don't know about now. They're pretty bad, but
don't try to make Jeff feel good.
So and they're impressive. They have impressive kids all over the place. Got a ton of respect for what they got and how they do things, and it's going to be different. But we go back. We were talking today in the office. I mean, out of all the teams we faced this year, I think there's 6 or 7 that are in the playoffs right now, and that was part of the whole plan. Is we've played tough competition all year. Our district is not a slouch.
No,
we play tough teams every year, every week, and I don't know if the defense we're going to face on Friday is any better than the champion defense or the Heights defense or the Castroville defense. I don't know. I'd like to think that they're not, but and I don't know that the offenses we're going to face are any more potent than what we've seen, and that's we'll see. We're going to go find out.
And you talk about the offense you're going to face in this week's paper on Tuesday. One of the game balls went to the young man from Southwest who scored 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't score 3 or 4 touchdowns against Medina Valley when they played him.
No.
So
I hope nobody else does.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They maybe they're not going to be prepared to get punched in the mouth either.
Yeah, and we're kind of counting on that. I mean, we got tough kids. I like to pride myself on the fact that I grew up blue collar. I worked hard for everything I've gotten. And I want to think that the way that I coach and the philosophy that we're trying to establish there at Medina Valley is about hard work and being better than you were yesterday, and just and not ever quitting. And I think that's pretty evident in how we play. But coming out, I'm sort of a vicious dude when I'm not talking nice. I'd rather step on somebody's throat and choke the life out of them, and that's what I hope happens on Friday. And whether that happens or not, I don't get to play anymore, and if I did, it would be an atrocity. But I'd like to see my kids play that way and just go out there and just take what they want. Everything you get, you earn. And if no one's going to give anything to you, and those kids are going to want it just as much as we do, and so it's going to be a matter of who's got more will.
Well, and that was instilled in you when you came off the field and you had to face Coach Newman and Coach Patterson. As soon as you came to the sidelines, and if you missed a tackle, it wasn't, oh, don't worry about it. It was, you're supposed to, we had you in that spot. You're supposed to make that play.
I heard a lot of linebackers from the sideline, and then I heard you come off from the offensive line, and Coach Newman would give you the eyebrow and about melt you into tears. And
he didn't have to say nothing.
No, there were no words. And when there were no words, it was worse. And so, those guys have really shaped who I am as a man. My father and this community and everything else as well. But that's my hope, is that I'm able to have that kind of impact here, And so, we'll see if I get that chance. And what happens Friday is a step in that direction, I hope. And if not, we'll go back and try to work toward that, moving forward. But, it's playoff football. It's anybody's game.
That's right.
You had something, Garrison, right?
This is one thing I can add on being a player myself, or at least to be an ex-player. But one thing I know about Medina Valley and all the years I've seen is we're definitely not an easy team to face. The one thing that we do have consistently is, we fight to the very end, and especially in a year as crazy as this, where literally anything can happen in the sport of football. I think it's nice to have the consistency of the fight of the players of the Valley. It's something I take pride for.
Let's hope we can continue to instill that in our players and provide that for every former player, myself being one, is that no matter who you face, where you go, what's going on, is that you can watch this game and feel good about the fact that the product we're putting out there is something that everyone can feel happy with the effort, the enthusiasm that we're displaying. And so I appreciate that's a huge compliment to me. That's all I need. It's not about wins and losses. It's about hard work and getting better.
Well, the buzz is back. I can tell you that. People are fired up, and you're going to be surprised how many people are going to be in the stands Friday night on a 4-hour drive.
After driving there last week, I'll be surprised if anybody shows up.
Well, and I'll finish with this. After that Brenham game last year, their coach came out and said that Medina Valley was the toughest team that they had played all season long, and in a district that they play in, that's saying a lot. And regardless of what happens Friday night, they're probably going to play the toughest team they played all season long, and that's saying something. There's no quit in them. They're ready to play, and that's saying a lot for the program.
Yep, absolutely.
We're hoping to get a rematch against those guys next week. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That would be nice.
Yep. That would be nice.
Well,
before y'all kick me off here, I want to.
Oh, that's right.
I got to give a shout out to my son. My oldest son. I didn't think I'd get emotional. Yeah, so Connor turned 13 today.
Oh.
And so...
teenager.
Yeah, I'm a bit old. But I want to give a shout out to him and for putting up with everything that all this stuff entails. So anyway, my wife as well, because it's a lot. So
notice the little gray.
Yeah, a little.
in the beard,
It's getting there.
You also have a player that has a birthday today.
Yeah, Caleb Ben. I found that out today. That was amazing. I said
till he got off the air.
Yeah, I know.
Give him a hard time.
I found out at practice, and I said, it's your birthday. It's my son's birthday too, but you're not my son. As far as I know, it's one of those deals. But he's a good kid. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, and good luck Friday night. We will take a break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
Garner Abstract and Land Company, the title company with professional service and a personal touch. Garner services real estate transactions, buying, selling, and construction loans for commercial and residential. They specialize in land development and farm and ranch. Garner, offering a commitment to professionalism, confidentiality, and personal service combined with the latest technology. Garner Abstract and Land Company will work to earn your trust. Garner Abstract and Land Company, 830-346-1367.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984. And a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
All right, welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we just had the football players, and then Coach Crisp on, and with their playoff game Friday night, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But we're going to transition now. Something that we've been doing broadcasting now is some basketball. We have Coach Russell on here from the girls basketball team. Coach, thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me.
And, we've covered, 2 games now. I think Dwayne did the game last night. I did one last week. And y'all are off to a pretty good start this season. Tell us a little bit about your season so far up to this point.
We're currently 8-3 on the season, which I'm thrilled with. We've played an extremely tough schedule, and we've played Kerrville, Tivy, Dripping Springs, Bernie, Lavernia. That's a good program. Had Navarro last night. Many ranked opponents, in the state already, and so to be 8-3 right now, I'm thrilled about it. And we've got one more non-district game coming up Friday against a new school at Comal ISD Davenport, and then we open up district next week.
I saw that on the schedule. I was wondering where they were from. I hadn't seen that before.
They're 4A. Yeah, they're in a district with Fredericksburg and Bernie and all
4A
that.
doesn't mean anything. Navarro was 4A last night. They were ranked up, I think, in the top 20 in the 4A, so they've got a good program over there. And that was a tough contest last night, let me tell you.
Yeah, we didn't play very well, but that had a lot to do with Navarro. I mean, they exposed some things, and sometimes losses like that will help you throughout the season. And I think we had our best practice of the season today. So.
Well, and that's the whole point of non-district. I mean, you want to face good teams, you want to see what you got, and you're getting ready to go into district. Do you feel comfortable heading into district play now?
I'm excited. The kids are excited about it. We have some goals this year, some lofty goals, and one of those is winning a district championship. We finished second the last 2 years, and then we've gotten knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. And so we've tried to change some things that we've done. I've tried to make our schedule, our pre-district schedule, a lot tougher. And we have really committed to the weight room and getting stronger. It seems you get to the playoffs, you go against stronger teams, and we needed to up what we were doing. And I think our kids have committed to that, and we've really gotten stronger. It's been a great off season and a great start to the season.
And, you lost 2 seniors, starting seniors from the year before, but they've been replaced with girls who played a key role last year. You're not just throwing someone in the bunch. Right. Tell us a little bit how easy that's been to be able to have a lot of your same team from last year back.
Well, you just never know. We lost the MVP of our district last year with Peyton Kennett, and how are the kids going to respond? Well, team defense-wise, I think as a team, we've picked up, what she gave us. And, we have played some very, very good defense this year. And one of the keys for us is, I talk about all the time, we have not shot a high percentage field goals the last 2 years. We just haven't. And so we try to make a commitment to shoot more in practice, to focus a little bit more on offense, while not allowing our defense to lag behind, and keep it where it's been the last 2 years. That's our calling card. But we've really, really worked hard to do that. But I think as a team, from 5 players on the court, just really getting after it. And, I know y'all have seen us just a few times, but, we opened up the season with a huge win against Kerrville Tivy. Well, our pressure got to their guards, and brought us back in the game, and ultimately we won it. And that's against, they were number 7 in the state at the time, and it was an awesome way to start the season. I think that just kind of catapulted us to where we are now.
And one of the things that I was impressed with, and I did the first game the other night when y'all played Pearsall, was Clara Arroyo's defense. Mm-hmm. She played excellent defense, and like you said, Peyton Kennett was probably your best defensive player in the league last year. And then here she comes making a bunch of steals and getting her hands involved in the plays and creating a lot of havoc there. And it feels like, hey, well, she's gone, but we had someone step up and take her place.
Clara can guard the point guard. She could guard your 5. She's long and athletic and can really move it, and we got a bunch of kids that can do that. You'll be talking to Kaylin Persine here in a second, and she's one of those that can guard all positions. Elian Morales, has stepped up as a defensive player. Mackenzie will be here tonight talking as well, and she has really worked on her athleticism, and it's been a lot of fun. One of the things a lot of coaches don't keep stats on are deflections. You keep stats on steals. But for us, we talk about, hey, get a hand on the ball, get a hand on the ball, get a hand on the ball. And a lot of times, you know, some of these kids aren't getting the notoriety because they're not getting the steals, but they're setting up that steal by just getting a hand on the ball.
They're disrupting the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot of that last night, too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of knocking the ball away, but he always come up with it. You know, it stops the flow.
Yeah.
So that's been working. I don't want to overlook Davenport, because I know you got that coming up Friday. They're probably led by your district coming up. And I understand McCullum and Legacy are probably going to be the teams that are going to be competing.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, you know, going into the season, it looked like it'd be, you know, Legacy. McCullum right now in the Texas Girls Coaches Association poll are ranked 15th in the state. And they got a good freshman guard that came in along with 2 good scorers. And so, you know, right now they're playing real well. You know, Legacy, I think they'll be there. I mean, they've got their 3 best players coming back, all, you know, 2 that averaged about 20 points a game last year, and they're still trying to find themselves. And then Harlandale has a brand new coach, and they're doing good things over there also. And so, you know, there'll be some battles coming up, you know, and we've got to show up every night. You know, we got to show up every night ready to play. And you know, I think the thing that I love about this group is we show up. You know, our effort is great. It's always great. You know, I go back to the Divine game on Saturday. I mean, we shot horribly. I mean, I don't know if we could have shot the ball worse. But we gave such great effort and played so well on the defensive end, we came out with the win at the end, you know. And tell the kids all the time, we give great effort, play good defense. No matter what happens, we'll have an opportunity at the end to win.
Well, I know when we first had you on a couple of years ago when you came back to coach the program, the one thing you stressed sitting in the same place you are now is how you wanted to get prepared for district with the strength of your non-district games.
Yeah.
And it showed off. It showed off every year, and now it's even more greater because you're able to set your own schedule and get the teams that you want to play and get it set up. And you can see the resemblance in the team right now. I mean, they're just ready to play already.
Well, you know, it's funny, the UIL came and they took our tournaments away, right? We couldn't play tournaments this year, but they upped the amount of games that we could play, you know, non-district. And so as soon as that happened, I started calling up, you know, Dripping Springs. I called up Bernie Champion and tried to schedule these games because we need it. We need to know what it's going to be like when we get to the playoffs. We need to know what it's going to be like in big district games. And we hadn't played Bernie Champion yet, but we have them over Christmas in a non-district game, so we'll have them coming up. They're ranked in the top 10 in the state, and so it'll just keep coming.
Well, and one of the things is, you know, with realignment, Harlan's gone out of your district. Now, I know they were a nemesis 1-2 right there all year. But how is it knowing that level of the competition's gone from your district?
Well, I think that, you know, I think we're still a good district. I think we've got a good 4 or 5 teams in our district that will be competing for playoff spots. I say this, you know, we've spent 2 years kind of being the underdog. You know, we've played with an underdog mentality, and we've got to continue doing that. But, you know, the target's on our back. The target was on our back last night. Navarro came into our gym. They've seen some of the rankings that have come out about our team, whether it's in the city or state rankings, and we have to show up every night. We can't take a day off. And so it's a matter of, hey, when you're playing well, you get a little notoriety. People start hearing about you. You get ranked. Things like that happens. And that's fun for the kids, but we still have to play with that underdog mentality and be ready to get after it every night.
Right. Well, you guys got anything else?
No, I just want to make a comment that now for basketball, boys and girls, we have video now. So when you tune in to Me My Broadcast Network, you'll be able to watch the games as opposed to just listening to it now.
Yep, absolutely. For this year. Yeah,
my family thanks you for that. So my family's all in Georgetown. They get excited to watch games now, and so it's exciting.
We'll apologize for last night because that was my first play-by-play, so I'll say that right now.
Well, that wasn't your fault. That was the team that was playing's fault. So.
Well, I may be bad luck, so we'll see what happens.
Oh,
no. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck this season as y'all go on and into district, and we look forward to covering a lot of games and hopefully being there in the playoffs as well.
Absolutely.
Excited. Thanks for having me.
Yep, and we'll take a quick break and come back, and I think you brought a couple of players with you we're going to talk to here in just a second. We'll be right back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in just a moment.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store.
Tickets,
With
popcorn,
12
and
area
sodas. That'll be
locations,
$35.
Valley Mart is
Cash or
always
debit?
right around the corner.
I mean,
Fuel
I'd like to use my debit card, please.
Can I do it?
Branded
gas and diesel,
right.
snacks and
Now.
fountain drinks.
What if paying with your debit card was always
Convenient,
this exciting?
well-lit,
Kasasa Cashback is a
with
free
clean
checking
restrooms.
account that pays you
Valley
for everyday
Mart,
debit card
family-owned
purchases
and
every month you
operated
qualify. Plus, with
1984.
ATM withdrawal fee
And a proud
refunds
supporter
nationwide,
of
that's a
Medina
lot of
Valley
extra cash to
Athletics
spend
and
on whatever
area
you
youth
like.
sports for
Ask for
30
free
years.
Kasasa Checking at Community National Bank. Member FDIC.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
All right, welcome back here to Sports for Supper. We just had Coach Russell on, and now we're joined by 3 members of the girls' basketball team. And we have Mackenzie Deacock, Kaylin Persine, and Ileana Morales, right?
Yes.
And we'll start down with Mackenzie on the end. And, yeah, you got to get pretty close to the mic or it won't pick you up. But if you'll tell us, what position you play, what year you are in school, that sort of thing.
So I'm a senior this year, and I play forward most of the time.
And, yeah, we've seen you underneath. You usually get matched up with their biggest person, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that. Coach Russell was talking about how y'all have hit the weight room this year trying to get tougher. Tell us how that's benefited you.
Oh, yeah. Over this year, starting with the weights and everything, they've helped me a lot down there underneath playing against their larger girls. I'm more stronger underneath, so to say, and I have an easier time guarding them, and I always find it a little challenging to play against their girls that are the larger ones, but it's always real fun to play against them because it brings out a challenge in the game.
One thing people don't understand is how aggressive the girls play.
Watch a football game, go watch girls basketball.
And they have no pads on it, so they're very good.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get into foul trouble. And if you want to talk a little bit about how foul trouble, does it affect you? Because last night you had 3 right away. Does it affect your mentality and how you're playing forward after that? Or what are your thoughts when you start getting into foul trouble?
Most of the time, I don't even realize I'm in foul trouble necessarily because I just don't necessarily think I fouled, but it might have been a foul. But once I do get the fouls, I know when I get to 4, I have to lay low sort of thing and just try not to do anything that they may call a foul.
Last
but
night you kind of bit your tongue on that.
Oh.
So she was happy. There were some ticky-tack fouls called last night. It's kind of tough, I guess, to stay under control, isn't it?
Yeah, I got a little upset about that one for sure.
How hard is it to bite your tongue, especially when you know they're ticky-tack fouls?
It's a challenge, all right, let me tell you.
Well, I tell you what, it should be pretty easy because let me tell you, the fans that were there last night, they were letting the referees know that there was.
But I got to say this. So in the Pearsall game, I got caught by the referee. He came to me after the game, and there was a play where the Pearsall girl had carried the ball. It's like, oh, she carried it. The referee let her get away with it. It was right in front of me. He came to me after the game. He's like, I heard you say she got away with it. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah, they seem to know who's saying what all the time.
So do you do any other sports other than basketball?
I used to in freshman year, but now I've just settled in for basketball.
Just straight basketball?
Yes, sir.
And I've noted you're left-handed, right?
Yes.
Does that give you a little bit of an advantage under the basket against other players because they're not used to seeing that? Or
some of them, it just depends on how they're defending you underneath and stuff like that.
Anything else more? You guys got anything? All right, well, thanks for joining us, and we'll move on down.
Okay.
If you'll tell us your name, position, what grade you are in school.
Okay.
I'm Kaylin Persine, and I'm usually a forward, and I'm a junior.
Usually a forward, so you,
Yes.
you get moved around to guard, forward, all over the place, wherever you're needed.
Yes, our most recent game I played at guard, mainly.
And so last year, you're a starter this year, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
you came off the bench last year.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about moving into that starting role, kind of what mentality, things like that.
It's definitely more nerve-wracking, but I feel like it prepares you better for the game because you're jumping right into it. It's definitely a lot easier than just sitting on the bench and watching it happen.
And so, go ahead, Dwayne.
You can tell you like being on the court because she's ready to go back in once they take her out. You've got to be one of the ones that after the game, I would think it's got to be pretty tired because y'all two over the end, you're running constantly.
Yes.
Do you ever think about that during the game, or is it after the game? How does a game? How do you react after a game? Are you tired or?
It's you don't really think about it until you're in the locker room after the game, and then everybody's just looking at you, and you're just.
Because last night you guys were all over the horse,
Mhm.
and so that'll take me to the conditioning part. I understand Coach Russell's really big on conditioning, so
Yes.
that's got to be a factor, especially towards the end when y'all are still giving it 100%. Is that something that you'll think for later, or is it like I wish we don't do that?
Well, we're definitely mad at him when he puts that in the practice plan, but it does pay off.
Well, we've heard him say before that he wants to be able to go when the other team can't. He wants to wear them down. And do y'all feel in the last 5 minutes of a game that y'all are more conditioned and you have more energy than the other team? You feel that
Yes,
on the
sir.
court?
I feel a lot stronger.
And that went both ways last night. So Navarro was, I think, was the same kind of program because it was back and forth. It was full sprint all night long.
Yes.
So it was a tough one.
Yeah, no, I know, like, when I'm ready to call a girls' game as opposed to a boys' game, that I have to talk a lot faster.
Yes.
Because it with the way that y'all run y'all's defense and run half court and move around, so there's a lot of things
always
to go.
something going
Yes,
on.
there's always something going on. No one just stands up top and dribbles the ball for 10 seconds looking around. There's none of that. And if there was a shot clock, you wouldn't get 10 seconds into it.
You're almost looking forward to a foul to catch your breath.
Almost.
Would you rather play underneath the basket or out in front?
I'd rather be underneath the basket just because I like rebounding, but that's just a preference. I just care about whether he needs me or not, wherever.
And I've noticed every one of you can handle the ball in some way. Does Coach Russell stress that in practice?
Yes.
Like everyone needs to be able to handle the ball well?
We do dribble drills almost every day.
Well, and that's important because, the girls' games that I've watched over the last few years, it's full court press. No matter whether the score's, if you're ahead by 20 or down by 20, that's the way it is, and that's, that's you got to be in shape to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Kaylin, thanks for joining us, and we'll move on to Ileana. And if you'll tell us your grade in school and your position.
Okay. I'm Ileana Morales. I'm a junior, and I'm a point guard.
And you've been starting since you were a freshman, right?
Yes,
yeah, I
sir.
remember. And you're mainly the point guard, right? You're a ball handler.
Ball handler.
Tell us a little bit about that. Like, do you feel like, hey, when I'm out here on the floor, like, I'm the leader of this group? Do you kind of feel that way, or is it just everybody? Because a point guard usually has that role. Like, hey, I'm your general out here.
How I think of it, it's just a game of 5-on-5. I don't really put myself out, but hey, I'm the leader. If I have to take on a persona in a game, then I will. But it's not 1 against 5, it's 5 against 5. That's how I think about it.
How have you felt yourself progress from being freshman to right now being the one that handles the ball a lot, calls the offense? I mean, have you gotten more comfortable?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was like freshman year, I was so timid to talk, to yell. I didn't want to do anything because I'm a freshman on varsity. I was very scrawny, didn't really have any muscle like I did. Shout out to Coach Kennett for putting us in the weight room. But I definitely say growing up, your IQ gets bigger, the knowledge of the game. Girls get better, but that only makes me want to get better than the other girls. And our competition out there, like for district, definitely want to come after them. We're just every day at a time, I guess.
I'd imagine you see things more now that you didn't see when you were a freshman on the floor, right?
Yeah,
things
for
that
sure.
like kind of obvious that you didn't spot back then.
Yeah.
So you're not the tallest kid out on the floor, right? So
Most definitely the
but
shortest.
I will say this: you're definitely not afraid to take it in the lane. So, what is your thought process when you're up top and you see a lane or the 3-point shot? What would you rather do? Because I've seen you do both.
I mean, it depends on the defender, how they're guarding me. If I see that I can get by them easily in the lane, I will take it. And if they give me space, I'm shooting. I mean, it just depends on they're defending me either way, if we need a bucket or we don't, or if we need to score right then and there, then I will score, pass it up, set it up for one of my teammates.
Okay, so there's actually a thought process going
Yeah.
on. You got up there. Okay.
And so, defensively, what would you rather do? Knock down 5 threes in a game, or would you rather come up with 5 or 10 steals in a game?
I would say those options are great, but I'd rather have assists.
Oh,
than
okay.
That's what's
steals.
going to
Yeah,
say.
there you
Assists,
go.
dishing the ball out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Assists are definitely a big thing for me. Like points, they're points, you know. Steals, they're steals. But assists, it's a team sport. I'm just there to help.
Do you ever
Good answer.
get into a spot in the game where Miss Deacock or Miss Preside says, "Will you throw me the ball? I was wide open."
Yes, for sure.
Feed me the ball.
For sure. No, yeah, for sure. And thanks to Mackenzie for being left-handed. My freshman year, I had to learn how to bounce pass with my left hand so I can just get it to her. And ever since then, we've been two-man show down there.
Do y'all, knowing that I've watched you just drive into a lane before among some trees that are in there.
For sure.
And do you ever just go at them and be like, okay, these girls are a threat to us. I'm going to go get them in foul trouble and get them on the bench. Does that ever cross your mind?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just going at them.
Yep. If I see that they're scoring constantly, they're doing damage down there, hurting my girls, I'm be like, hey, I'm going to bring it back to you, you know? You can't just do that to my girls like that, man.
It's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's scrappy. Anything else, Dwayne?
No.
You do any other sports other than basketball?
My freshman year, I ran cross country.
You don't anymore?
I don't anymore,
You
just
focus
straight
on basketball.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, y'all, this season, and thanks for coming tonight, and hopefully we'll be with y'all deeper in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we're going to come back with the boys basketball coach, but we're going to take a break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue in just a moment.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Truck Month is going on now at North Park Chevrolet. Get the lowest posted prices of the year, plus 0.9% APR financing for 72 months, and an additional $1,000 for accessories on every new Chevrolet truck, like a 2020 Colorado Crew Cab, posted at $24,999, or the all-new Silverado, posted at $29,999. Experience Chevrolet, the North Parkway, 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville, or at npchevy.com.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we had the girls basketball on a moment ago, and we're going to transition now into boys basketball, and we're going to have Coach Gallion on here with us, and this is your first year as a Medina Valley head coach, correct?
Correct.
And so tell us a little bit about your background, where you come from, and how you got to Medina Valley.
I have been coaching and teaching in the Northeast School District in San Antonio for the past 25 years. And I was at 3 different schools there. Started out at a middle school and then went to Reagan High School and then to Lee High School. But I've lived out here for 18 years. My wife Shelley is born and raised out here, and we came out here to be closer to her parents, to get some help with the kids, because we were both coaching at one time, and it was pretty hectic. So I've commuted from here to San Antonio for the past 18 years, but when I got an opportunity to come out here and be close to home, and I still have a 8th grader and a junior, I thought it'd be pretty neat to be here close, and I don't miss their volleyball games or their middle school games, and
that's important.
That is very important, and I get to see my daughter every day at school, and I'll get an opportunity to coach my son next year when he's a freshman. So it'll be great.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about this season so far for y'all.
It's a work in progress. We, of course, I'm new, and so everything that I'm trying to get the guys to do is something new to them, and so they're learning, and I'm learning about them, and at times we look pretty good, and at times we look like we're kind of lost. So it's we're making steps forward, though. I'm encouraged by our effort lately and our competitiveness, and they've really been putting in some effort in practice, and so I think we're going to be ready to go.
And we're going to be starting to cover some of the boys' games as well. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to see from your style of play. What do you want to do on the basketball court?
Well, we're pretty up tempo. We like to get the ball up the floor pretty quick, and try to get early offenses, as much as we can. And we don't run we're not a set play type of offense. I mean, we have a lot of freedom in my style of play, and I think that's something they're figuring out. So it's an up tempo style, and we try to push the ball, and we constantly tell them advance it, and so we're trying to get those early easy baskets, and not spend a whole lot of time trying to work the offense, but we also stress when we need to. We've got to have some patience and take care of the ball, and as long as we have it, they can't have it. So we're trying to get the best shot we can, but if we can get it quick, that's what we want to do.
And I think that's what the crowd. I like the up tempo, the ad lib stuff. Don't try to sit there and run a triangle, and it's the same routine where you're down low on the post and you feed it out and you kick it back in. And
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay. Coach, I got a question for you. When I was coaching basketball, we ran the flex offense.
Right.
And I understand what the flex offense was designed for. Maybe not the basketball players, but guys that could get out there and execute, run different plays, different entries, just be very sound with the basketball.
Right.
Kind of shorten the game, I guess, like you would, running the football in football. But so tell me what the advantages of your style of offense would be as opposed to running, say, like a flex offense.
Well, a lot of it is, it's kind of a player-oriented type of style. And I think the way the game's evolved, kids today, and even in the NBA, I mean, they don't want to have to work in a pattern, and they don't want to, make 4 passes and then start over again.
So they want that freedom.
They want some freedom.
Exactly.
And I think the 3-point shot has brought a lot of that on. So we give them that freedom, and hopefully they'll learn, and they're learning how to play with each other too. They graduated a bunch of kids last year, and And so they're learning each other's styles, and that's an important part when you have that much freedom. You got to know and be able to trust each other that they're going to be where they should be based on what you're doing with the basketball. Because a lot of it is, read the guy with the ball, and then your movement is going to be based off of what he's doing. So it takes a little learning, but they're getting there.
I like that style, especially I can remember, Nolan Richardson when he coached Arkansas, 40 minutes of, we're going to get after and as many possessions as we can get.
Right.
That's what we're going to do. More opportunities to score the ball.
So that brings up the other side of things. What is your philosophy on defense? You run a zone? Do you run a man-to-man?
Do you run full court?
We do some full court. I mean, we're basically 75 to 80% man-to-man. And that's, that goes back to, I had a coach and a mentor who, Jimmy Littleton, we talked about him earlier, and he just man-to-man. In fact, his dad, Jimmy Littleton, won a state title at Lee High School, and he was...
There's a gym named after him, isn't there?
Yeah, at Blossom Athletic Center, Jimmy Littleton Gymnasium, and he stressed man, and I bought into that philosophy, and so.
Well, and basically a good man-to-man defense is a zone defense.
Well, and that's what
comes down to.
That's what I tell him. I said, we can't play a zone if we can't play man, because a zone is a man. You're playing your man in your area, so it's man-to-man defense, So we're going to run man offense, and we do put a little pressure out there when we need to, or we feel like it'll give us an advantage. But basically we're just making sure that we stay between our man and the ball, and the ball in the basket, and then go get the rebound and let's go.
I know you're quite not at full strength now. You're going to have some football players that are going to maybe join the team that were there last year, but how is the group that you have that are on the floor now, or you like the way they're buying into your system?
They were, like any change, most people are a little resistant to change, and they were a little resistant to begin with, but I can see them and feel them starting to come around. In our last game against Lavernia, they really, you could see that they were getting more comfortable and doing things on their own without me having to say something or tell them to do something. They were doing it on their own, and I was really happy to see that. And I can see that they're kind of buying into it. And like I said, they graduated a bunch of seniors last year, and so a lot of the players we have this year, it's all new to them. They're the guys now, and they've never had that role before. So not only are they having to learn a new style of play and how a new coach wants things, but they're also having to learn how to be varsity players on the floor all the time. So it's been a big change for most of them.
How has your normal routine, how has the COVID affected this year different than it has before?
Yeah.
Have you been able to practice as much as you normally would have?
Well, we have. The only thing that has really been kind of a struggle is we flipped the schedules a little bit and put all the varsity sports athletic period as the same period, which means we were there in the same period as volleyball. And so, there's volleyball, of course, took precedent because they were in season when we started the school year, and so they got a gym. Well, then you have girls and boys basketball trying to divide one gym between two programs, and it was, that.
You still got the old gym down there.
Well, we did. We went to the annex,
Yeah, there you go.
the old middle school gym, and so.
Actually, I think that was the old high school gym.
Yeah.
At one time.
And so we would go, every other day. We'd say, okay, it's annex day, and we'd go down to the annex and practice down there. And
Hey, basket's still 10
still
feet.
10 feet. That's right. Yeah, there's just not as many of them as in the annex as there is at the high school.
So what have you been impressed with so far where you didn't really expect that, hey, we're a little better than what, after losing all those players, you're a little bit stronger here than what you thought you would be?
I think actually under the basket, when we work hard under the basket, I've been really impressed with our ability to, even though except for really one guy, we're kind of undersized, and we've really competed under the basket for offensive and defensive rebounds, and so that's been a real positive thing that I've seen. I think we can do better. Obviously, we're never going to be satisfied, but our will and our work ethic under the basket is something that's impressed me.
That's kind of where you're missing the most. That you lost was under the basket.
Right. Gibson was there, yeah, and then you had Braden Haney, who was a good shooter. So I mean, you lost two pretty good players right there.
Pretty solid foundation right there.
Tall Munoz, what was his name?
Sotelo.
The thinner one.
Romo.
Yeah,
Romo.
Now we still have Christian Romo.
He got in foul trouble every time we did a game last year.
He did. Yeah, that kept him. That kept him off the floor last year, from what I understand. But he's I think he's really improved from last year, and he really is a force around the basket as far as protecting the rim. And he really, when he's on the floor, he makes us kind of a different team. Plus, he fits right into my style because he can really get up the floor in a hurry, going both ways, offense and defense. I mean, he can get from one end to the other in just a few strides. He's a hurdler, I think, in track, and he's got some long strides, so he really helps us when he's on the floor.
Tell us a little bit about the district coming up this year. Who's going to be the biggest competition in district? What is some of the other teams you're going to be facing have?
Well, along with my players learning a lot of new things from me, I'm going to learn a lot of new things about our district. I know that Floresville is going to be, I think, the team to beat. And luckily, that is one coach that I know because he coached at Churchill High School when I was coaching at Lee, so I kind of know a little bit about what to expect there. And then, I think it's a toss-up after that. Obviously, I don't know anything about Eagle Pass, and I don't know anything about Southside. I've played against Southwest, other places that I've been, and Southwest Legacy I've seen play a few times. But it's all, we're getting film collected, and we're getting information on players and that type of stuff. So it's going to be a learning process for us too right now, because we're watching film and trying to figure out what tendencies people have and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a challenge, but it's exciting.
Well, I'm just hoping that the people realize it's a new system, and they give you the opportunity to implement your thoughts and your philosophy out there. Bear with them, because it's not always going to be roses.
Yeah, it could be hard. Like I said, change is hard on everybody, but I think
change is good sometimes.
Yeah, change can be good too. And I mean, I'm excited because I like I said, my son's in 8th grade, and the younger kids are, there's a lot of basketball kids at that age level, and then we just got our freshman football players this week, and there's a lot of athleticism and really some decent, really good basketball talent with those younger guys. So, it's exciting, and I can see a bright future for Medina Valley basketball, not just because I'm here, but because there's some athletes and some basketball players that are going to be moving up.
Are you going to be getting a lot of players from the football team now, the varsity team? Are you going to be getting a lot of players once football's over with?
Well, unfortunately, I think I'm going to get 2 down from 5. For various reasons. I know Joe Tarvin was going to be.
Yeah, he would have been a force.
And unfortunately, he's not going to be there, and so, but the two that are coming are going to help us.
Tyler and Caden are.
Caden and Tymir.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think Tyler's going to go. I don't think he's going to play this year. I think he's going to go.
Stick with baseball.
Going to go to baseball.
Yep.
And then another one, Tristan Hill, is supposed to come, but he stayed home the whole year. He was going to play football. He stayed home and didn't play football, and he's been home ever since. But I think he's coming back for the next semester, so we'll get him too. We'll see how he is after being at home.
Well, and you talk about learning experiences. There's going to be another one because you're going to have some new players come in and have to learn your system.
Yeah.
These guys have already kind of been implemented into it for the season.
Well, lucky we have a little break before our first district game, so I hope football keeps winning and they don't have to show up until whenever they get there. But it'll be nice to
be at full strength.
Be at full strength, have everybody there.
Yep.
So.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you coming on. We look forward to seeing y'all play this year, and hopefully we'll talk to you later on down the road.
That'd be great.
Good luck.
Anytime.
And you brought some players with you tonight, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to have them on in a minute. We're going to take a quick break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
All right.
Truck Month is going on now at North Park Chevrolet. Get the lowest posted prices of the year, plus 0.9% APR financing for 72 months, and an additional $1,000 for accessories on every new Chevrolet truck, like a 2020 Colorado Crew Cab posted at $24,999, or the all-new Silverado posted at $29,999. Experience Chevrolet, the North Parkway, 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville, or at npchevy.com.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you. Garner Abstract and Land Company, the title company with professional service and a personal touch. Garner services real estate transactions, buying, selling, and construction loans for commercial and residential. They specialize in land development and farm and ranch. Garner, offering a commitment to professionalism, confidentiality, and personal service combined with the latest technology. Garner Abstract and Land Company will work to earn your trust. Garner Abstract and Land Company, 830-346-1367.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we are going to be joined by three of the varsity basketball players, the men's varsity basketball players here. And if what we'll do is we'll start down on the end with Chris, and if you'll take the microphone and if you'll tell us your name, your position, what grade you are in school, we'll start there.
I'm Christopher Child. I'm a shooting guard / point guard, and I'm a senior.
And oh no, we'll stay with you, and then we'll go down as we go. We'll interview each of you individually. And so Chris, you're a shooting guard. We all know what that is, being that it's a shooting guard. But tell us a little bit about the new system that's been implemented, new coach this year. Tell us a little bit about the adjustment that's had to be made.
The new system, I like it way better than last year because like a run and gun, that's all I wanted to do last year. And that's the opposite of what we wanted to do last year. So I like it a lot better. The transition, it's been kind of hard just because we're so used to like pack line defense, stuff like that. We was moving, but it's pretty much easy. Like I love this, what's it called, system way better than last year's system.
Do you guys, like, obviously there's no shot clock in high school basketball, but do y'all have like a clock in your head where, you know, coach said he wants to be fast, don't run an offense? Y'all have like an internal clock, like, hey, we need to get a shot off within so many seconds?
I would say no, but we just find the best shot that we can take.
So first open shot, someone's letting it go.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you like to shoot threes, or you more drive to the basket? What do you like to do?
I like to shoot threes. Mostly threes, but I can shoot mid-range too.
So where's your sweet spot? On the wings, in the corner, straight away?
Anywhere.
Anywhere? Wherever you can get it?
Yeah.
Well, I know last year, just watching Mr. Haney wasn't afraid to take a shot from any place, and just watching you last year too, you're not afraid to take a shot from anywhere. And, you know, that's confidence though, when you can build that up, when you can say, hey, I want the ball right now, we need to score. I mean, is that something you say, okay, we're in crunch time, I'm going to make this play happen?
I would say sometimes yes, I would want the ball, and I would like, if we need a bucket, I'll go try to score. But I trust my teammates, so if they have the ball and they want to get it, it's fine.
10 seconds left, you need a basket, you're dribbling down. Would you rather dish it off or take the shot yourself?
If it's a better shot when I dish it, then I'm going to dish it. But if I have the shot, I'm gonna hit it.
So what are you looking for down low? How much do they need to be open to where you think you can fit the ball in there?
I would say if Christian Roman's down low, if he's doubled out, I'll hit him. Cause
you can just throw it up top, right?
Yeah. I trust him to get a bucket down low anytime.
I can remember him, though, last year, the games that we did. He always got called for a foul.
He got picked on by the referees.
And last year.
And a lot of them weren't anything that he did.
A lot of it James caused, and he got called for the fouls, right?
Yes.
Basically is what it is. So, but how do you feel like you've adjusted since just from last year, now that you're handling the ball a lot more?
I'm a lot more confident this year. Last year I didn't really shoot that much. I just passed a lot. But now I'm way more confident. I shoot a lot more. So I don't know. I guess it just goes with the run and gun, get an open shot.
Do you play any other sports?
I do. I'm gonna run track. I did play football my freshman and sophomore year, but then I stopped to just go basketball.
So you said you're gonna do track this year, though. What events do you want to do there?
The 400. That's how I ran in middle school. So.
Okay.
He used to be the closer in pitching too.
Oh yeah, I did play baseball. I forgot about that.
My brother coaching him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, Chris, good luck this season. We'll see you in some of the games this year, and
thank you.
Hopefully we'll see y'all later down the line.
Don't be afraid to take the shot.
Yep.
I won't.
All right, and if you'll give us name, position, year in school.
I'm Wyatt Schott. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a point guard / shooting guard.
You're a sophomore. Do you start?
No, I've actually been hurt this season.
Oh, really?
I haven't gone out there yet.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'm aiming to come back somewhere near the end of the year.
What can we ask you what the injury is?
Yeah, it's I have hemophilia, and so it has to do with my
blood
in my hip.
Okay.
Right now, it's a blood clot in my hip.
Blood flow, yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully you get back pretty soon. How hard has that been to, you got a new system that you're running this year. How hard has it been to sit there and not be able to be part of that?
Yeah, it's definitely been frustrating, but I did get to practice some, and when I was in there, like he said, the pack line defense, where on pack line we are one pass away, but on this, it's the complete opposite. And there's so many things that are just the complete opposite, and it's hard to get into that rhythm, especially being out. You can't get into a flow, but I have gotten an interesting opportunity to sit back and watch everyone else do it. I think that's going to help me a lot.
Does that give you, when you get to watch like that, do you get a more appreciation for the coaching staff, being that now you're seeing what they're telling you?
Yeah, exactly. You really do appreciate it more because there's so many little things that I know if I was on the court, I probably wouldn't realize it, but now seeing it and visualizing it, I know exactly what I need to do.
What is the process that you have to go through to get back on the floor?
Rest. I was on bed rest for like 3 weeks.
Ooh.
I was in the hospital for a week. And so I just have to give it time and let it heal. Since it's such a deep muscle, all it is time.
That's got to be tough
Yeah.
sitting. But at least you're still part of the team and you're there every day. You're learning the system. Just you can be the coach on the bench, also.
Yeah.
So
Well, and the thing you were talking about, being able to visualize those things and see it from off the floor, that's going to make you a better player later on,
Yeah.
especially you're a sophomore and getting to witness these things. And it takes a long time for a lot of players to develop into that and to be able to see it. Now you can go out on the floor and be like, oh, yeah, I saw this over there. It's kind of a different perspective.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you do other sports other than basketball?
I've done track in the past, high jump. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it this year, especially with my health and everything. But, I mean...
Those things you like to do, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as, I know you're a point guard, so are you looking for the assists? Like, is that your big thing? Like, let's get the ball to whoever's open, or do you want to drive the lane?
If a teammate open, I'll definitely hit him, but I don't want to. I want some points for myself, too, sometimes.
ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Be afraid to take the shot.
And being that you're the ball handler, you're usually guarding their ball handler.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that. So,
It's a big responsibility guarding their main ball handler. I mean, that's where the offense starts, and they really facilitate everything. So if you can disrupt them from the start, it's going to mess up their whole possession.
So do you do a little extra practice defensively? Like you take a little more pride in defense than you do,
I do.
on the other side of the
I
ball?
take pride in my defense.
I like that.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we see you on the floor pretty soon.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. All right, and same thing, name, position.
I'm Corey Robertson. I'm a point guard.
And you're starting point guard right now?
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about this new style offense that they've implemented and how it's affected the point guard position.
I like it a lot more because it's more everyone actually playing basketball, and it's like they get to use their own talents rather than like playing like a book. Because everyone that was good had different things, you couldn't really see it. But now everyone gets to do their own thing, and I think it helps a lot.
Let their strengths kind of rise to the top. That makes sense.
Free reign.
Yeah.
You can exploit what you do best and not what some book says you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yep. So you facilitating the ball, are you more, I'm going to dribble, drive, and kick it out? Are you going to the basket? Do you want to pull up and shoot? What's your favorite thing to do?
I like to drive in and get my teammates open for a wide open shot.
Yeah, kind of pull that defense into you and kick it out to one of them for a shot.
Especially Christopher. He's a good shooter. I trust him a lot.
Knowing that you have a guy down low like Romo, who's pretty tall, can do some things down there, how does that help you at the point guard position? Does it keep some of the bigger guys on him when you drive the lane and, kind of keep him away from you? Or when they collapse down, hey, I got this guy, he's off of him, I can dish it off to him and he can finish. Does that stuff go through your head?
Yes, sir. But unfortunately, we haven't had him much this year due to his grades. But when he's in there, I like to feed him. I trust him around the basket. And when I drive it in, he's got to come on me, and I'll feed him down low on the other side. And he usually goes up with it pretty well.
And tell us about your defensive side of the ball.
I like playing defense.
You like to get steals, just be disruptive?
I like getting steals and then go on a fast break. Early gets the momentum going.
Yeah.
And early picks up.
Yeah, so you like running with the basketball, getting out there, trying to run them off the floor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's nice.
So when the other team is full court pressing, you're the one that's handling the ball to bring it down? Or is Mr. Childs the one? Or who?
Either one of us will have it.
After a made basket, who is the one that gets the ball?
Either one of the
bring it
guards. Any of the guards can handle the ball. So it's whoever we get in too fast, you can just get going.
So at any time it could be either one of y'all, or all three of y'all, or let's say not all three, but whichever one of y'all is out on the floor.
You'll see all three of us bring up the ball sooner
Get
or
it
later.
out of the net and get it up the floor.
Yeah, get it quick up the floor as you can. Yep. Well, you play any other sports?
I run track. I run the 200 and the 100, but that's it.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll see y'all this year. We'll be covering some of y'all's games, and We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, kind of recap things, talk a little bit about the football game coming up Friday night, airtime, things like that. We'll take a quick break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
Truck Month is going on now at North Park Chevrolet. Get the lowest posted prices of the year, plus 0.9% APR financing for 72 months, and an additional $1,000 for accessories on every new Chevrolet truck, like a 2020 Colorado Crew Cab posted at $24,999, or the all-new Silverado posted at $29,999. Experience Chevrolet, the North Parkway, 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville, or at npchevy.com.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Garner Abstract and Land Company, the title company with professional service and a personal touch. Garner services real estate transactions, buying, selling, and construction loans for commercial and residential. They specialize in land development and farm and ranch. Garner, offering a commitment to professionalism, confidentiality, and personal service combined with the latest technology. Garner Abstract and Land Company will work to earn your trust. Garner Abstract and Land Company, 830-346-1367.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper. As we had a lot on the show tonight. We have a lot of things we can recap on, but had some great interviews with Coach Russell and Coach Gallion. And, there's a lot of things to look at going forward in the basketball program. Yeah, I was going to get to football last because we got the game coming up this week.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. But, a lot of things to look forward to in the basketball season coming up this year. A new style of play in the boys and the girls, got a pretty good team and got a chance to go pretty far.
If you look in all the rankings, they're somewhere. I don't care which, the Texas Girls High School Girls Association poll, the VIPE, I think the Express San Antonio area, they're all ranked this year. They're somewhere in there, and it goes anywhere from number 3 down to number 19. So they're going to be something to look forward to watching.
Yeah, and their district starts in a week, I believe. Next week, I think Tuesday they start district play with Eagle Pass.
And we're
going to be doing that game. Yeah, I'll be there to do that game on Tuesday.
We'll start probably next week. We'll get started doing a lot more basketball games, as many as we can right now. Got big old important hunting season we got to make sure we take care of.
Absolutely.
But we will be getting a lot more games in coming up.
And also, we've got the football game coming up this week, playoff game against Mission Sherryland Pioneer down there. It's a 4-hour drive down there. We'll have it on. It's an audio broadcast, guys. There won't be video on, but it's an audio broadcast. You can listen to it.
We'll paint them a picture.
Yep, we'll paint them a picture.
That's what the color guy's for, right?
Yep.
And so we'll be on. That's a 7:30 ball game. We'll be on right around 7:10, 7:15 to bring you the pregame. They're district champions. Medina Valley finished 4th, but as Maury pointed out earlier, when you get in the playoffs, you can throw that out the window because you're on even terms right now. You're starting the playoffs. And, guys, what do you all think about that game? What do you think are some of the big points going into that?
The offense is going to have to score some points. The defense can't do it all. They're going to have to, but again, all the pressure is going to be on the defense to step it up. And because that team, for what I understand, they score a lot of points.
Yeah, they got a quarterback going to UTSA. He's legit. We saw him last year. He can. Let me tell you, he's the kind of kid that he's going to get out of the pocket. And when he does get out of the pocket, he runs and he throws an accurate ball. And I think their weak part is probably going to be their receivers, because what I've seen on video, the receivers are not great. Okay, like Bernie Champion, Kerrville Tivy types of receivers that are athletic and stuff, but they can catch the ball. but they're not going to be great. So I think our cover guys are going to be okay if our front can get to him. And if our front can get to him, I think they can make some things happen on defense.
Yeah, they talked about, I think Coach Chris said they score 50 points a game, somewhere in that vicinity. Our defense hasn't seen anyone that scores like that this year in that kind of number bunches. We know that a lot of the teams we play have the ability to do that, but they don't do it weekly like that team's been able to do so far. But our defense has played very well this year, and I think they're going to have to keep the offense in the game, and the offense got to get moving.
When you win games 7-0, you've got a good defense. So
Yeah.
just hope they can keep stepping it up.
Well, last week in their district championship game, last Friday night I watched, they were only held to 1 punt, and they didn't have any turnovers. So they scored on every possession but one.
Well, and if you think about it, though, when Medina Valley went into the Bernie Champion game, Bernie Champion was averaging 35, 40 points a game.
Yep.
And
it was
Medina
9-0. Or no, that was
played them.
Yeah, played them a
Tit
tough
for
game.
tat for a long
Had a
time.
lead on them early. I think it was 7-0 Medina Valley at halftime, and then Champion came out and then ended up taking the lead.
Medina
winning
Valley
it.
was 28-point
underdogs yep.
and kept it close.
Yeah.
So,
we wish them best, and I think hey, you get this far, you got a chance, and that's all anybody ever asked for.
I think from the failures that have happened in the previous couple of years, not getting past the first round, I think it's going to change things. I think it's changing the way the philosophy is, and I think you're going to see Medina Valley come out there with a chip on its shoulder, regardless whether you finish fourth place in this district or not. Going to see just how tough that other district really is.
Well, in those two games the last couple of years in the playoffs were both games that Medina Valley could have won, especially that game last year against Brenham. There were a couple plays here or there. That game could have easily went the other way.
I will say this, if it doesn't happen this year, which I hope it does, this group of kids that were here today, the sophomores, that group of sophomores is really something to look forward to here.
Yeah, they all play key roles right now. They're all starters. They all play, and that's key experience that you're getting for the next couple of years coming up.
How much they're going to grow.
Right, and just remember last year when we had those super sophomores that are now juniors that are making the plays out there. Yeah. Michael Tomaselli, Seth Bullard, Joe Tarvin, which he unfortunately is not able to play, but I mean just a year difference. Look at that.
This football program is getting ready to turn the corner.
I agree.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
I was going to say I'll be a little bit more positive here. I mean I have faith in them. Medina Valley has kind of a history of they got an element of randomness to it. They got nothing to lose and everything to prove. I think Sherryland Pioneers going to go up there and we're going to go down there and they're probably going to take us for granted. And I think we'll surprise them. I have a pretty good feeling.
That's one of the things. Overconfidence could play into that a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, and they're sitting there. They have the home court advantage. And that's confidence that they're going to be, we can go in and sneak in there and come out with a win.
I just want to say one thing, too, while Gary's sitting here, that whenever people talk negative about us, I delete their comments.
What?
He knows.
Oh. What'd you
My
do?
lawyer advised me not to say anything at this time.
No. I want to know what's going on here. We're calling you out.
It was nothing.
He defends the program and the broadcast network on whenever there's bad comments on YouTube.
Oh, I got
I'm
you.
an avid watcher of the broadcast. I have nothing else to do. So.
I'm
Study.
No, well, let me tell you, I know where you were this year at Baylor, and I know that they had you on lockdown up there. What was that like? Because I know you weren't probably allowed to step foot outside your dorm very much.
I wasn't supposed to, but I mean, they definitely were very strict about the regulations. I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, we were able to stay under pretty low numbers, but it definitely was kind of annoying to see all my friends go different state colleges and they have a little bit more freedom than I do, but. Made me study, I guess, and that's something I can be thankful for.
So I'm going to tell you, I was really looking forward to the Gonzaga-Baylor game this last week, and it got called off at the last minute. Actually, I turned Channel 5 on and found out it had been taken off my DirecTV, so I went outside to watch it and found out it got canceled because of COVID. I was not happy.
Just real quick, a side note about what's going on at the Baylor. They're actually monitoring the sewage coming out the dorms.
Yeah.
For levels of COVID. And once if they find high levels, they start testing those dorms. So they've done a good job.
So they just stand there by the river as it pours into the river there by the McLean Stadium.
They got a little net.
Yeah, they just catch whatever's coming out.
Gary, do you have to stand outside with a bucket?
That's got to be a shoddy job, isn't it?
All right.
I will say this about the games. If I had a nickel every time Baylor canceled a sporting event because of COVID, I could pay my tuition. So it's quite a bit.
It's been quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, hey, and on another subject here, to change the subject, I want to thank Dwayne for volleyball season. And I know a lot of our listeners out there tuned in and listened to volleyball, and there's not a better volleyball announcer in this area, or I didn't hear one. I mean, Dwayne does a great job for volleyball, and we want to thank him, and we're really looking forward to next year as he is signed on again for next volleyball season. So thank you, Dwayne.
And there was kind of a look of, I don't know about that, on his face.
Oh, no, he signed on already.
I appreciate the good comments, but I will give an update, though. We lost to Dripping Springs, and Dripping Springs lost last night. They lost in the semifinals against...
So Houston School.
Yeah, Houston School.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway, but they lost, but it's a positive to the programs. They lost to one of the better teams in the state.
Yep. So.
Yeah, and guys, what else? Anything else before we go?
I'm just looking forward to Friday.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, because, and you know, just remember this, I believe the winner of this game gets Brenham or Marble Falls. That's who's in the bracket. So if Medina Valley would win, they'd be playing one of those two teams.
Yep.
I just hope that we got a 4-hour trip in front of us. Make sure if you're going.
Well, hey, remember this too. If it is Brenham, we get a home game this year.
Do they do that in the 2 rounds, or do you have to go?
Because we went to them last year, so they get to come to us this year.
Yeah, but that's because they won their district.
No, but that's a rule, and it started several years ago.
Good.
Yeah, you don't get to return the favor. I mean, basically.
So what time do y'all go live?
7:10, 7:15, right in there.
game.
It's a 7:30 game. Yeah, we won't have video. We will be set up outside. Just know that I don't think it's supposed to be windy, but if it is, we'll do the best we can with that. But because of their COVID restrictions down there, they were going to let one person in the press box. So we'll be set up on the visitor side in their open perch above the stands right there.
And just for future reference, anything boys sports related is Medina Valley Broadcast Network. Anything girls sports related is MVBN2.
Yeah. Yeah, so subscribe to those channels on YouTube. Yeah, I know I've had some people say, hey, I couldn't find the game. You've got Medina Valley Broadcast Network, and then you have MVBN2. Make sure that, for girls' games, you're on 2, and for the boys' games, you're on Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
And hopefully we'll get it on the website soon.
Well, guys, we'll call it a night for tonight. Make sure you tune in on Friday night to the football game. We'll be down at Pioneer Mission Sherryland down there to call that football game, and we'll be able to tell you a little more about them hopefully when we get down there. As we mentioned earlier, we heard a lot from Coach Crisp about what that team is, what that district's like down there. I don't know, Maury, have you seen a team from that district down there play recently?
No, I sure
It's going to
haven't.
be a new kind of experience, especially with the style of offense that we've heard they run. All those guys want to score a lot of points down there. So it should be an exciting matchup.
Just to go down there and punch him in the mouth.
Yep, and we look forward to it. Make sure you tune in. For Jeff, Dwayne, Gary, Maury, and MVBN, I'm Jared Lucky saying good night. God bless.